and you have to try to teach the people and earnestly work in the best interest of your patient, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I see this, and I hear patients, they come talk to me and my associate, they're like, oh, we come back to you because you listen to us. I'm like, the hell are the other doctors doing? I'm like, I mean, really? That seems like a low bar. And that's like, I don't know. I really look, I like my patients. I want them to do well and I want to help them. And they're, it's like this funny thing. You like bump against people that they don't want to hear it. Okay. You're going to give them the best advice you got and they're just not interested. Right. And you don't fault them for that. That's okay. Right. It's like they're not ready for it. It's okay. And you don't keep on pouring water on the rock because it's not going to ever accept the water.
Oh yeah, you're so right. I can so relate to this, because there's so many people that come in with an intention to get better. That you can see that beneath all of the difficulty, there is this spark of wanting to be healthy. But the reality of the work that it takes is so far from that acceptance that it's almost like there's a split in the personality between the part that wants to do it and then the part that isn't recognizing how much work it takes to actually get there from where you currently are, and
there's issue. I call this issue demoralization. Okay. Just like this, it's like I want to be better, but I'm such a mess and it's so much work and it's going to cost so much and take so long, and I can't even imagine me ever getting out of the hole that I find myself in, right? And so it's like the issue is this is try to make it bite-sized, right? Yeah. Try to make it bite-sized and small enough that they can accept it and just keep chipping, right? Yeah. And it's like just chip away, and it's like you recognizing these, and this is the atomic habits thing, right? So it's like this. It's like in the work that I'm working on is stable equilibrium. So you think of your, I know, I'm sure you talk about it in your profession, habitus.
Tell me about that. I'm not sure.
So habitus will be this: it's the sum collection of the way you carry yourself. So your posture will be included, the clothes you wear, and the environment you find yourself in, the company you keep is all your habitus. It's what habits what your habitat, right? Which is what you inhabit, all of you. And it's like, so this is a stable equilibrium. The way you are is a stable equilibrium. And it's like meta-stable, like it will change in time, but it's like, it's generally stable. And it's substantiated by thoughts, like opinions and prejudices and biases. And this is what makes the world that you live in. And it's like, to cause the people to understand the power of this, that rules all of this, is the beginning of it, I think. Because it's like, I always do this with the CrossFit coach. CrossFit coach he's 71, and he's like, okay, look, I'm doing something like burpees or something, just awful thing, too many of them, too fast, and and he's like, come on now. And he says, ignore the signals coming from your body. And I'm like, whoa, full stop. What? That is like the opposite of the way that I've been working for 50 years, 55 years. And I'm like, well, shit. That hasn't served me too well because I'm here now and I suck at doing burpees apparently, right? And so I'm like, so I process that a little bit, and it's like this, it's like, it's not the signal that you ignore, because it's all signals, it's all information moving around, because the way you feel is just information, right? And it's like, it's the opinion that you form and listen to that informs your behavior. Yeah. Right? So it's like, so you don't listen to your opinion, which is like, Jesus, I should stop doing this right now, because that will be so much better than doing another 5 more burpees this time and then doing it again in 2 minutes or whatever we're doing, right? And it's like, once I accepted that it's opinions, then it's like, it's just an opinion and you can change your opinion, right? And then you accept this discomfort or whatever you call this feeling. You change the way you understand the feeling.
It's so true. And this realization is so underutilized and undervalued when it comes not just to health, but to every aspect of life. I mean, really, I had a meditation teacher for a number of years and meditation is a good example of this. People think that when you meditate, you're going to sit down and immediately your mind is going to go blank. right? That's the perception of the general public. That's what I hear it every day in the treatment room. You know, I can't meditate because I just can't shut my mind off. Well, that's not really the point. The point is actually to face your mind, to actually sit there and not have to, and to sit there no matter what it's telling you. This doesn't feel good. I don't like sitting in this position anymore. Why am I thinking of that again? Right? And to be able to do just what your CrossFit coach said, which is to just not pay attention to what your mind is telling you. In your case, it was the body. In this case, it's the mind. Because when you can do that, then in moments when your mind is on high alert and your sympathetic nervous system is overactive, you can choose not to pay attention to it. But you have to work that muscle. You have to actually train that muscle in order to build up the capacity to keep doing those burpees when your body is telling you, no, this is done, I'm done, this doesn't feel good anymore. Or to keep sitting when your mind is telling you, this is stupid, why are you sitting still? I'm just going to keep thinking. And you know what I mean? It's like you're building up a certain capacity. I guess it's a discipline, really. It's
yes, discipline is a good word. Good word.
I think the number one thing that we can admit and appreciate and actually, you know, work on above all else is being able to start with not letting your mind control your decision making. Because how many times have you heard, well, I don't drink water because I don't like the taste of it. I don't, right? I don't eat vegetables because I just can't find ones that I like. I just, you know, and it's like, it's all these things that come up and you go like, who's making that? Where did that sentence even come from? That you couldn't say, I don't really like broccoli, but I eat it anyway because I know it's good for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't we just change the narrative and
That's it
in your head? And
That's
then
it.
boom, you know?
That's right. So I call this self-hypnosis, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like this. So the patient says, I can't do that. I'm like, well, if you say so, right? I'm like, okay, well, because I'm not going to argue with someone. You're nuts, man. You're out of your mind. It's like this. It's like, I said this to one patient one time. That's like they're saying, I'm talking to them and then they're like, well, they contradict me and do this thing. And I'm like, well, do you know it's really rude to do self-hypnosis when I'm hypnotizing you?
Mm.
Right? And so you're and I use this interruption and confusion kind of techniques. It's like you just say something obtuse and cause them to think about it, to stop in their tracks and go, why was I thinking that? Right?
Mm.
And it's like, I think that if we train, so it's like, yes, where's the leverage, right? What as a practitioner trying to help people, where's the leverage? It's like, get them to understand how their mind works.
Mm.
Because you go like this, it's like, the body is a slower mechanism. This thing operates super fast and it's like it regulates all of it.
Yeah.
And so if we train people how to process information cognitively, then they're to slow down and think about what they're doing, right? And then, is that what I want? Will that achieve the goal that I want? And what do I want? You know what I mean? It's like that I think is where our leverage is.
Definitely. No, it's beautiful. Well said.
But the trick is like this is like, okay, so how do we develop institutions? Because you're making a business. I've got I'm an employed physician. I do online work, but I'm not doing private practice stuff right now because I'm like I'm been hammered. I'm run over. I'm like roadkill, buddy. It's awful, and it's okay. It's a gilded cage, as I tell my partner, right? It's okay. I'm not complaining by any means. Okay, I regard my position as being very, in a way, privileged, and that's okay. But it's like, how do I generate an institutional mechanism to help people? So one of the things we do is we donate money to a local missionary that runs a karate school. Okay, and I was thinking of doing the same thing with the purpose of it is to help people who want to train their body, right? And they're trying to train people's minds and get them oriented properly in the world. I think the same thing with the CrossFit is reasonable to do, which is like, how do you apply resources and where's so where Mother Teresa, it's not like Mother Teresa has no money. She has very limited money and she judiciously applies it to the situation.
Absolutely.
So it is like, what is the best way to help people to recognize the power of their own mind and then figure out how to apply themselves and then generate positive influence in their social organism. or, their social environment, right?
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Best Medicine Podcast with Bradley H. Werrell, DO. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe below, either over there or over there. Also, if you're interested in a medical consultation with myself, there's also information below.